Man, 5.56 is expensive, isn't it, Brian?
It is. It's climbing every day.
And I don't feel like it's ever going to get cheaper to when it was, pre...
No, it won't.
I think I'm just going to get an airsoft gun. I think that's the best option. The only way I'm going to be able to train, but I'm going to have to buy an airsoft gun and then put all the stuff on it to where it's kind of like my normal rifle, and then I'm just lost.
There is something you could try.
Oh, yeah?
Kazam! The 22 conversion kit by CMMG.
Hello, party people, and welcome back to The Experience. So today we are doing another episode on our cost-efficient combat effective series, and we're talking about one of our absolute favorite training tools by far, the 22 conversion kit from CMMG. So what is it, Brian?
So what it is, it's a cost-effective way to convert your current AR-15 to a 22. So basically, if you want to use it for muscle memory training, any kind of, basic rifle training.
Okay.
Or say you have ARs at your home you're going to pass to younger kids, or you have the intention of doing so, you can put this in and have your kids shoot it. It's a fun time.
There's nothing that's not fun about 22 LR, except for maybe it being dirty and jamming your gun up. But other than that, it's more or less, I've always thought it was the gateway drug. Shout out to Everyday No Days Off and that shirt, but it's a gateway drug, right? It's easy to get newer shooters to be more comfortable with an explosion going off next to their face. It's easier to teach people with less of the bang and the scary part of it and work on safety, honestly. I think as a tool for new people, it's pretty solid.
So why did you buy yours?
Well, it was 2020 or 2021. I started dry firing and gardening in 2020 because I couldn't afford ammo anymore. And once it finally came down a little bit, I started buying bits here and there, but I couldn't really shoot it, or I felt guilty shooting it because I wanted to stack it to the rafters and I couldn't anymore. So eventually I came across one of these. I think I got mine from the Palmetto Daily Deals emails. I was keeping my eye out on those and I saw it pop up. It was a pretty good deal. I kind of went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. Pun intended. You bought yours before we knew each other.
Yeah.
And had yours before I'd ever met you. It's been at least 3 years of me shooting this one. I did have a replacement part thing that we'll get into at some point. He's holding it right here, but overall, it's just fun. And for 22, being the cost that it is, you can still afford to go out and shoot 200 rounds of it and not break the bank. Like when I shoot more than 100 rounds of 5.56 in one day, I'm either at a training class or I just really felt saucy and really wanted to shoot a whole bunch.
I got mine basically because I had some friends with kids and their kids wanted to shoot the AR. And I was like, man, I'm not going to give these kids a whole bunch of like 55 grain training ammo. So I got it to throw it in there so they could shoot like the big kids. And after messing with it for as long as I have, it turned into a training tool.
Okay, so we kind of wanted to knock this part out early because I know there's a lot of people that have lots of feelings about any kind of AR training conversion stuff, whether it be the Blackbeard, whether it be the 22 conversion kit, full stop. It's not the same. You're not shooting full power ammo. So obviously your recoil control is going to be something that you can't have your support hand because you're shooting 22. You have to be mindful that you are training. Just like when you're dry firing, right? You're trying to make consistent grip pressure. And the second you start half-passing your offhand and dry fire, you're building those, I don't want to say training scars, but you're building bad habits. Exactly.
Bad habits.
It's not going to benefit you later. So just like dry fire, you have to be mindful of the recoil part, of course, right? And then the longer range part. It's a 22 in a 5.56 223 barrel. I've never shot it in 300 blackout. I doubt they suggest that, but
I would not.
Some crazy person out there might. I don't suggest it.
Don't.
But for you to be able to convert your 5.56 223 gun, obviously there's going to be some accuracy issues because you're not shooting a projectile that's going to mate to the barrel rifling the same. And then of course it's 22 LR. So I've never re-zeroed my gun for 22. I don't know if
No, I would not.
No.
They're close. It's close enough to where at 75 yards you can still hit, like a 10-inch plate.
I've never even shot mine at 75 yards. Usually like 25, 30 is kind of point where I limit it, and it's really just because I'm using it to focus on shorter range rifle usage.
That's, in my opinion, what it's best at.
Exactly. And so of the cons, there are some. Let's be honest, it's not perfect. If we could all just Scrooge McDuck in those barrels of 5.56 forever and shoot it unlimited ammo. If I was just playing COD and I could respawn with a full loadout, I'll have my bandolier perk on.
So I think one of the cons for me, not only like you were saying, was muzzle control. The other one is it may teach you a bad habit on your manual arms with your weapon manipulation as far as changing mags.
Yep.
Once this magazine is expended, these followers pop up and they lock the bolt open so they don't drop free. You literally have to strip them.
Yep.
Why won't you come out of the rifle? Oh Lord! Help me, Jesus, take the wheel.
Put in a new one and work the charging handle.
Perfect segue to the other manual of arms struggles, right? Now, instead of you being able to use your bolt release and slap it home, you're gonna have to run the charging handle every time. That's just one of the natures of the fact that you're saving money and not buying a full dedicated 22. Again, if you got the money for it, by all means, do whatever you feel is the best solution for your needs. But for us professional porters over here, we love the 22 kit. There are some cons, let's be honest.
They're not too bad. The cons aren't too bad.
Nope. All right, so when I go to the range and I plan to use this, I kind of have some specific things in mind. Not that you can't do just about anything with it you would do with your normal rifle under 25, 30 yards. But when I use this thing, I really am working on closer range rifle stuff. So things that would incorporate me having to think about offset. That was one of the things early on I loved. We used to do the Ruination cold start every time we got to the range. We kind of tossed a couple new ones in there, but to do the cold start with your pistol and then bust your rifle and your 22 kit out, run your cold start, make sure you can actually run your offset properly. That's essentially what the rifle cold start is. It's to be able to quickly do a little bit of throttle control on the small circles and the big circle. I'll throw one up on screen so you have a reference to look at, but offset and a little throttle control. You got to work a reload in. It's a good solid cold start. I still love doing them, honestly.
So, but this is a really good training tool for height over bore, things like that. I mean, any of you guys who are in any branch of our military that trained with the M16, you used blanks for force on force with the blank adapter. No, you did not have to adjust for muzzle climb. You didn't have to do height over bore because it was a Miles laser.
Really?
You know, and it's a blank. So this is giving you that feedback on a steel plate or a paper target that you can quantify.
Yeah.
Especially with your height over bore. So anyone who's like, oh, if you're training with a 22 kit, you're wasting your time. Well, call Uncle Sugar and tell him to stop using blanks. I mean, they're gonna have a problem with it.
You're working so many different skill sets with this thing on a shorter range drill, right? You're able to, okay, I wanna do 3 quick rounds, transition, pick a smaller target, come back.
And you should add it, this should be included in your crawl, walk, run style of training. So you're gonna do it dry, then you're gonna do it with this. And once you're confident with dry and this, then you're gonna go to full power rounds.
Yeah.
It's just another tool in your bag to train.
I've thought about, and maybe we'll do this later, but the X-Ray Alpha CQB assessment, I've attempted it with a rifle before, normal power rifle, excuse me, not with rimfire, but I'm really curious to see if we could actually be able to get some of the same results from those drills just by using this. Obviously, the recoil on those doubles is gonna be different. That's one of those things you gotta, again, incorporate that your support hand is doing its job regardless of whether your brain knows which round is inside the gun.
So believe it or not, back in the day, most militaries all the way from like World War I used to use 22 calibered rifles to teach basic rifle marksmanship.
Pair of U.S. Army 22 caliber training rifles, one by Springfield, a Springfield model of 1922, and a Mossberg model 44 US. I got a surprising number of comments on those videos from people who were suggesting that it would be really stupid for the Army to train people on 22s when the actual Army rifle is a 30-06. And I think this indicates a fundamental misunderstanding of marksmanship training.
Especially for a new shooter that you're learning, you know, rifle drills like for home defense or whatever you're using your rifle for. It's a good way to learn height over bore in a pinch. So you add like, say, sprinting a certain distance and having to punch out with your rifle and do a controlled pair utilizing height over bore.
Yeah.
This is a good way to do that.
This is mine. It's dirtier than Brian's. We're going to do a whole video on basically cleaning and maintaining these things because it is something that 22 is dirty. Let's just be honest.
They need services, son.
Yeah, and you need your services. So on mine, I don't know how many rounds I've gotten through it. It's quite a bit. I mean, it's a couple years of usage. We did have a issue on one of ours on mine before. So when I was cleaning it, I noticed that there was a crack on the chamber adapter right up here on the very end.
Yeah, we'll have to get some closer photos of that for you guys. But when you run your nail around it, it's obvious, and it's a good half-inch long.
Yeah, it's a small crack, but it's definitely noticeable. And that was one of those things I personally wasn't sure what to do. I emailed CMMG, their customer service was great, and they just shipped me another one out straight to the house. So it was really easy to swap it after I'd seen you do it, breaking the kits down to clean them. But overall, like, I was pretty happy with the product, pretty happy with using it. And then when I had a problem, CMMG took care of it pretty much about as fast as I would expect anything customer service wise in 2024.
My experience, I've been shooting mine since what, 2021?
Yeah, before I met you, so probably started 2021.
I have like 8,000 rounds through mine, and it hardly ever malfunctions because they specify what ammo to use. Just clean it, lubricate it, make sure it's serviceable. We'd have never noticed Spicy's was cracked, except one day I was like, hey, let's clean these 22 kits, man. I'll show you how to take it apart.
I think what really happened is that I had so many malfunctions that day at the range, I actually broke down and cleaned it.
Frustration's real, and I'm a polite guy.
And that's really what happened. I have to be honest about it. I'm not good like Brian is on cleaning my guns, making sure I know how much I shot through them and all that stuff. I just make brass. I make brass, I make noise, I have fun. My TISM hits the 10 on the meter, and then I go home.
They're not hard to disassemble. It's a weird cross between like an AK and some brake, like old school drum brake parts. I'm sure you can find a video out there on it. The magazines are good. The only malfunctions we've experienced is dirtiness.
And I'm shooting like mixed bag 22 half the time. I just keep dumping boxes of it in there. Some's Remington, some's Aguila, some's maybe like CCI, something like that.
So these function with the side folders we've tried.
Yep.
The Law Tactical and the Sylvian.
Yep. So you can run it with a folding adapter on your AR. You just got to take the buffer extension piece out and
the bolt
pop it in there.
and bolt tail extension come out, and that's because this back piece pushes against your lower receiver. It doesn't use your buffer. It has its own buffer built in.
Yep.
Now, if you guys got a Safe Queen, you'll see that your buffer will get some wear, some scratches on it from a little weld right here. And if you're worried about that, you're probably not training with your rifle anyway. Leave it in the safe.
I feel personally targeted.
For sure. So back to the mags, they're 25 rounds and the kit came with 3 of them. So basically it was the bolt conversion he's holding and these 3 mags. I honestly don't ever treat them any different than any other magazines I have. They drop, they hit the ground, they get kicked around, they get stepped on, whatever. They do have a different generation of them out, I guess. They have some that look more like P-mags with the ridges on there. But for them being a 22 mag, they're not bad at all. I think most of the malfunctions we have are probably cleanliness related.
Lack of lubrication or cleanliness.
And lack of lubrication, that's the other thing. And
I'm trying this grease on mine right now, and it's like a Singer sewing machine your grandmama used to use.
I haven't used the grease yet. We were kind of trying to do a little control on the experiment and see between other lubes and just in general running it dry how long it's going to go. Usually I lube mine up when I take my normal bolt out. I'll put a little lube on that, just on the rails, on the parts that move, and for the most part it does pretty good. If you keep it clean, again, take care of your stuff, it'll probably take care of you.
And they're easy to clean because they're all, this chrome plated looking material, whatever their coating
just pop the top out real quick.
So
don't let it shoot off. Don't let it shoot off in your face, kids, when you're doing this at home.
This is spring loaded.
Yep. Easy peasy. Simple to take apart. Not a really complicated system, if we're being honest.
No, and it does have it has a regular takedown pin, firing pin, retaining pin like your AR-15 to pull out the firing pin, which is also spring loaded. So do not lose that small spring, and just pop out your cotter key, pop out your firing pin and spring, clean them out, blow it out with some compressed air or whatever, throw a little lube on it.
Yeah, you can tell again.
And you'll be good to go.
That's why we use mine.
This is the old dirty girl.
A little bit. Well, guys, thanks again for watching. We freaking appreciate y'all. All the support we've been getting so far. Again, we're a new channel, so thank y'all for supporting the underdog and our crazy little project we're on. And where can they find us on Instagram?
And you can find us on Instagram at Spicy Snafu.
Indeed. Same as it is on YouTube here, because we don't have a legacy account, so we got the little ad on our handle on YouTube, at Spicy Snafu on either one. Please like, subscribe, comment on this thing, give us some feedback, roast us, whatever engagement you're willing to give.
Yeah, talk about how hard of a time I'm having putting this back in.
Well,
it's just really dirty, dude.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's probably not helping that I can hear the grit and the carbon on it going in.
It's gritty. Cool.
So get out there, train with your stuff, get some reps in. Even if it's reps you understand the downsides of them, that you're still actually out there training with the gun that you want to use instead of getting a whole other setup or an airsoft gun and having to do the whole process. I want to shoot my rifle. And until next time,
be safe in all you do.
Or stay spicy.